been in a free fall. The sports star, Simone Biles, has flourished. This week at the World Championships, she won 4 gold medals. For NPR News, I'm Alexandra Starr.
Some ride-hailing companies are offering to take voters to the polls. Lyft says it will offer half-price rides to those in need and free rides to those in underserved communities. Uber is offering $10 poll rides. On Wall Street today, the Dow closed up 190 points. This is NPR.
Well, I hope everyone is doing well this evening. I hope that everyone is being weather aware and sort of looking out to what may happen this way. I think we're looking at a later time, maybe late tonight, early in the morning, of any possible severe weather coming our way. I know I saw where we were in the moderate section from what I understood. So maybe this area will be able to skate by and not have any serious weather. No hail, no damaging winds. That's what I'm hoping for.
You know, the weather is a little on the cool side, so hopefully that'll help and not make the storm.
It'll be stable.
You felt like it was cool. I felt like it was warm.
Well, it has warmed up some.
It's like 66
it warmed up.
degrees.
I'll tell you one thing today. It was ominous for some of the day. It was very foggy this morning, and even this afternoon. I mean, it's just fog hung over there on the mountains, or mountain, whatever you want to look at it with, over here in the Jacksonville State area. So anyway, but welcome to the Hey Techies show. And if you would like to be on the show, we would love that. The program you will just really enjoy. And it's the number is 256-782-5600. That would be 5600.
That did not come
out. If you did not understand that. So, and heytechieshow.com. And you can pick up all of our information there.
Well, at least the information we want you to have.
Yeah. Every way.
Which is everything.
Every way you.
Whoa.
Every way you would like to connect with us.
Yelling at you.
No, I said, what do you got on me on there?
Nothing.
Everything.
That is the problem.
Everything.
We got 0 on there. Absolutely. We have a picture, and that is
we have your personal Twitter account link.
What? Personal, that will have nothing on it. I mean, nothing on it.
Do I have a tweet out there? Did you sign in and make me a tweet?
Of course we did not. We don't do that. You know better than that. So anyway,
my password is.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that you.
We are not the ones that would forward voicemails to people. That's not the kind of people we are, Bruce. Yeah. So
only good people would.
Right.
People.
Yeah. So Guru, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, and Bruce, you do have a tweet out there from.
Do I really?
2016.
Yeah. What's it say?
It says, "I feel like my GTA is leaking." Some sort of picture of something. You go out there and look. Twitter.com.
I can't believe he doesn't remember just from Michael, giving him the first word A.
But I am doing very well.
Super. Well, our music system here at the radio station may have given up the ghost. Blue screen of death. I could not resurrect it, so I will. In my day job, I will attempt if I have time tomorrow.
You said twitter.com/heytechies?
Bruce.
No, Hey Techies Bruce.
That's your Twitter.
You're the
account.
one that came. You're the one that did it. We didn't do it for you.
Oh, I don't remember doing.
Well, I know you don't. I figured that was going to be the case. Well, Bruce, how are you doing?
I'm doing better now that I got that coughing fit.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you were really go on.
I was sitting there making noises with the music, and One of them just it got in my throat.
Well,
still trying to get it.
As you know, last week we
actually do remember doing this now.
We did cover the robotics team from Pleasant Valley.
Yes, we did.
And so we covered that in the first hour and had a great time. Really enjoyed them. And if you want to rewatch that, or you didn't hear it the first time, what have you, you can do that at heytechieshow.com. Both the audio and the video will be there. But we did have a limited time slot in the hour show. So we did not get to a lot of our stories from the previous week. So we'll probably throw some of that in there. There are a lot of headlines, a lot of interesting stuff. Of course, this past Monday, if I've got that right, Guru. Yeah. No. Was it this past Monday? Or Tuesday?
The Apple event?
The Apple event.
Was it last Tuesday?
It was this past Tuesday. I'm sorry. That's right. This past Tuesday, there was an Apple event.
We got plenty to talk about there.
We will be covering that and kind of giving our
I know what Mac I'm buying now.
Yes. Guru thinks so happy about
Yes, I am happy.
Possible Mac.
Hey, real quick. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
What was the name of that website that we used for that for a while?
Oh, had you not asked me?
I don't know. It's kind of like a Hangouts type thing.
Yeah.
Let me look
you remember doing that?
Yes.
We did that for a little while.
Yeah, we did that. We did that in like the alternate studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Must have been one of the preempted weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had several.
And
I was traveling.
Our main man Micah was the co-host that week.
Yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't Blab, was it?
Maybe been Blab.
Might have been Blab.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore. Probably doesn't.
I guess not.
I haven't.
I thought that was a pretty good service. It always worked pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't remember having any trouble out of it.
You didn't have to troubleshoot it either.
That is
worked fine for me.
I just logged in and did the show.
What's your problem?
That would have been
like real life.
That would have been one of the earlier episodes when I was able to get guests on here fairly easily.
Yeah. They learn how boring this show is. And
actually, I think he would come back on. He was really nice.
Who? Micah?
No, that was the audio guy. And I don't know why I can't think of his name.
Scott Wilkinson.
Scott Wilkinson, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was Micah on that.
No, that was Scott Wilkinson.
Oh.
Yeah, Scott was so gracious. Twice he came on.
Yeah.
He did our show
We've
twice.
had Johnny Jett. Nice. We've had Miami Rick. That's a airline pilot.
James Spann.
Yes, we had James Spann.
He was very gracious.
That's right. He was our first guest.
That's right.
Yeah. Wonder if he's doing the weather right now.
Probably so.
He's always doing something with the weather or something.
Well, considering that there's a chance of severe weather, he's probably extremely busy right now trying to figure it all out.
Probably. Well, anyway, what I was bringing up is that you may hear some things that are kind of, dated. I mean, as far as a week ago, but it's just things that we just did not get to. And I still would like to maybe have a short discussion on some of them. I did notice something.
What did you notice?
And I hadn't been able to talk about it because really hadn't paid much attention to it. It didn't dawn on me too much at the time, but about over a week ago, I think it was, my wife and I went over to Birmingham just to spend the day together, and we went into the Barnes and Noble. I think that's the one it is over at the Summit.
Yes. You didn't come on and see me?
No.
Michael.
Sorry.
Michael.
I don't even know where you're at.
You hurt Bruce's feelings. I get to see.
I'll tell you off air where I'm at.
Well, it was our anniversary date. I mean, no offense.
I should have been the only thing on your mind.
There are no words. I'm speechless. I hope you are too. Yeah, it's we don't have the word. We don't have the playback for that. I mean, we don't have the sound.
That's as close as I've got as crickets.
Yeah, it's very awkward. Okay, so anyway, no, I'm almost forgotten what I was going to talk about. So
you're at Barnes and Noble,
yeah,
and you noticed.
I noticed, and we went right in the door that there was something missing. There was something missing from the very front.
Books.
No, actually, the books were in there. What was missing is the kiosk area to buy a Nook book, a Nook device.
Nook book.
Or any kind of device that would be an e-reader. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have it somewhere else in the store, but used to it just hit you right in the face when you went in there.
Like, hey.
And I don't know how long that's been gone.
Yeah.
And I realize that e-readers have changed some. I think a lot of people are using their own purchase device, and they have an app, an e-reading app, what have you. Maybe the Nook app, or the whatever Amazon has.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. They don't want to be in the hardware business.
Yeah, and
Amazon's kind of won the e-reader war.
Yeah,
I mean, name a better one.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've used the Nook one, and it seems to be fine with me.
Yeah,
but we have several. But
here
here again, I don't use it very much.
Yeah.
So
I would not mind a Kindle for Christmas.
A Kindle.
Yeah,
you like the Kindle?
Yeah, isn't that what it is?
Yes, you're saying the right thing. I'm just asking.
Well, I kind of always hint at it every year, and my mom's got like 4 of them.
Oh, she just give you one.
Well, she was I think some of them are my nieces, and she's been grounded from them.
Oh,
because she was like, yeah, I've got like 2 in my desk at work, and another one hidden here, and I'm like, how many ears do I have to say? Man, I think I would really like one of those for somebody to pay attention.
Well, I will say I went to barnesnoble.com, and their second category is Nook books. The Nook books. And if you actually search for Nook Reader, it comes up as one of the search results, the Nook Tablet 7-inch, $49.99. But problem is, the first search result is a power adapter for the Nook. The second, third, and fourth results are for Samsung tablets.
Well, the reason I brought this up is because I found an article that's published 6 hours ago, according to this. It's a betanews.com. And the headline is Barnes & Noble announces a new Android-powered Nook tablet for the holidays.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it gets better than 3 out of 5 star reviews. I mean, I'm serious. That gets 3 out of 5 stars on their website out of 121 reviews.
Is the Kindle Oasis $250?
It's an Oasis.
Well, this
You'll
right
pay
here
anything to go to an Oasis.
Okay, real quick, because we're going to have to cut to break in just a minute. But the Nook, this a 10-point-inch lightweight tablet, 32 gigs of storage.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't see a price tag on here. It's the only thing I'm looking for. But
the all new Kindle Paperwhite is
waterproof. Wait a minute.
All I'm saying.
That's all you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I got to say about
$160 and receive a $50 worth of Good Housekeeping e-cookbooks.
There you go.
So
get your e-cookbook on.
So it looks like the 10-inch.
Think about that. That'd be nice. Cookbooks.
You got Bruce on another tangent there. Good job.
Okay, so before, it looks like from the 22nd to the 31st of December, they're going to run it as $119.99.
22nd
that's what it looks
31st?
like. That's what it says. I think that's what they're saying. Let's see. I got to read this.
What, the Kindle Oasis?
Never mind. Hold on. Also starting on November 22nd and running through the 31st of December, Barnes & Noble is offering cookbook bundle promotion. Okay. So that would be $159.99. I guess the original price without all that is $120. So there you go. So anyway, well, when we come back, we'll move on to something else. And hey, take your phone calls if you want to talk about what you might want for Christmas or any of this other stuff that we'll be discussing tonight. Hopefully something more important than this. Hey Techies Show. Be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies Show for your listening pleasure.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of STEM-related career fields such as information technology, communication systems, Special Forces engineers, technical engineering, air traffic control, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear science. Get a head start on your career in an exciting new field while earning money to pay for college, all while serving in your own community. Log on to NationalGuard.com or talk to a recruiter in your area to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The 375,000 acres that make up the 3 ranger districts of Talladega National Forest were purchased by the federal government in 1936 as part of an effort to restore clear-cut timberlands and farmlands no longer capable of producing crops. The beautiful reserve includes the 102-mile Pinhoti National Trail System and Alabama's highest and second highest points, Mount Cheaha and Duggar Mountain.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
That's why I didn't go over there to find you.
Do what now?
That's why I didn't go over there to find you.
Go over where?
That song right there.
Sorry.
And you'll figure it out later.
Maybe.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies show. And so I hope everyone is doing well. And we've got tons to talk about. Hopefully we can get it all in. Anyway, did you guys know last week I had an article I wanted to cover, and it has to do with the trade-ins returned for mobile phones traded in, and sort of the money that they returned back to U.S. customers. Did you know that in the quarter 3, they returned $600 million to mobile trade-in devices?
I can believe it.
And just some of the breakdown numbers. Let's see here. I had it right here. The iPhone 10 was the device with the highest average trade-in of.
Well, in the last year, it's the most expensive phone out there. I mean,
but listen, $484
after it's only a year old. Wow, that's an awful depreciation.
Yeah. Let's see. The average value of Android smartphone was $61.58. The average value of smartphone in general, all of them, was $88.69. And if the average value of an iPhone, I guess all of them included, was $146.
Yeah,
$146, which is not bad if you've already paid it off. I guess you got something out of it. Probably more because that being average, and then of course you there was some lower ones, obviously.
Yes,
and I'm sure that all breaks down and has something to do with the condition of it. What have
I just went into I'll go ahead and say the site Gazelle.
They're not very popular.
They're not we don't endorse them, but anyway,
sounds like you are.
No.
I
mean iPhone.
This episode brought to you by Butterfinger.
Absolutely not.
Because I love them.
iPhone 10, 64 gig Verizon. Ask you 4 questions. Device power on? Yes. We're going to assume it's in pristine condition. Fully lights up display? Yes. There's no scratches? No. Are there cracks anywhere? No. So,
right. Somebody took care of their phone.
Yes. $490.
Yeah. Okay.
And how much was it normally?
Well, a year ago it would have been 1,000. So you bought it, last year, and you're ready to sell it to Gazelle. You get
almost half.
Yeah, roughly half, 49%.
Man, that's better than zero.
See, I would just sign up for Apple's whatever program, whatever they
the upgrade program.
Yeah, I don't know.
After you make 12 payments, you can trade it in and start over, but you don't get any money. But you kind of
I mean, at 12 payments, you've only paid for half of it, right? Yeah. You're getting a little bit less than half.
I agree. I don't disagree.
Perfect.
If you're just going to keep going with that product and that's what you want, I mean, it would be a no-brainer. I would think.
I would think.
Of course, I still think that goes back that you're renting the phone, but you might be doing that already.
Well, I mean, you're kind of renting the phone unless you decide to keep it. Then after 12 more payments, you bought it.
And then my phone right here, iPhone 8 Plus, which I've had a little over a year, which it wasn't $1,000. It was more like $700, $325, in good condition.
So you gonna upgrade?
No.
Let me upgrade.
I'm still paying for this, but I'm not upgrading. No.
Yeah.
I like what I got.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could be that person that's got to have a new phone every year. Even though I will say, I think I did that for 3 years. This is the first time I'm not.
Well, I just don't think I like to upgrade every year. I'm not gonna be one of those type of people, but I've done it the last 30 years.
I think I have. I really think I have.
I'm working on 1 year, so I got one.
Oh, well, I've had this one for more than a year.
No, I got this. I got this at Christmas.
Yep. So you're close.
This is Bruce.
That's what I'm saying. I'm working on.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
You gotta have a new phone every year.
No, I don't. I'll be honest with you. After Christmas, my wife and I were talking about it because she, I brought it up to her about swapping carriers, and I was like, if I do that,
you're going to iPhone.
Swapping phones.
You're going to get an iPhone. Congratulations in advance.
I just don't know yet. There's so many good things I have on here. Hey, can I see your phone?
No.
Okay. Tell me this. Tell me this.
I'll tell.
Can I get Google Play Movies?
Oh no. Let's see.
As an app.
Well, I'll tell you.
Well, I would think so. Why would you?
I would hope so.
Why would you not be able to get that? I mean, it's an app. They pretty much have everything Google wise. I mean, you
do they?
Yeah, Google Play Movies and TV. There's an app.
Sweet.
There you go.
All right. I got more for you.
Oh.
Can I get a Wi-Fi analyzer on there?
Yeah, I've got one.
Does it work, or do you have to have an adapter?
Oh, I got one. It works. What kind?
Okay.
There's one.
What about Skimmer Scanner? Can I get Skimmer Scanner?
Skimmer
Scanner.
Oh heavens!
Is that a particular app name?
Skimmer Scanner.
Is it one word?
2 words.
Well, no.
I'm gonna scan, see if there's any skimmers around here.
No, there's not. Sorry.
Plenty of Bluetooth devices. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I've got 2 right here, 3, 4. I mean, these have got Bluetooth, these computers and my phone and my watch.
Skimmer Scanner.
Skimmer Scanner. Use it at the gas station, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Have you ever felt like you caught one? Or?
No, never caught one.
Oh, that's good though. It's good.
Yeah, it is good.
Hopefully it's working.
I've been the victim of one of those skimmers.
Have you?
You had a gas station out in the rural parts of this county. It was one of those, like, I need to get gas. I just wheeled in there. It was back when I was helping a friend move, and I just whipped out a credit card. So
that's always a good idea.
Yeah, I never use my ATM card.
Didn't use my ATM card at the gas station.
I only use my ATM card at my financial institution's ATM machine.
Yeah.
But I was using a credit card, and I just bought like $20 worth of gas just to fill my truck up, and of course it wasn't right away. It was a week or 2 later.
Yeah.
Starting all these charges.
Oh, really?
But my credit card company caught on to it and contacted me via email. So I called them.
Yeah.
I just picked up the phone and called them, and they, I talked to the customer service, and they transferred me to the fraud department. And they started going over them with me. And I was like, no, I didn't do that. And they were basically trying to figure out the last thing I actually did on that card that was mine.
Yeah.
Which happened to be when it may have been the gas station or one thing after.
Yeah.
But there were several things on there that had been authorized and or posted.
So you're sure it's the gas station?
Yeah.
Why? If it could have been any of those other places, right?
I think the gas station's the last place I used it. But I had like an online purchase maybe after, maybe not. But yeah.
Interesting.
But my brother he'd had the same thing happen to him at that same station a couple years back.
Gotcha. So maybe it's somebody in there. Maybe it is
an inside job.
Station.
I don't know. But that's why you use a credit card when you go out.
Yes,
because
you have longer to report it. You have
it doesn't wipe out your bank account either.
Yeah, I was saying you have better protections.
Yeah. So, but they took them all off. All of them that weren't mine, they took them off.
Yeah, they just get you to sign something
and sent me a new card.
Yeah,
and
send you a new card.
Yeah, so I had to change anything.
I had that happen with a debit card. Pretty sure it was a
recurring thing that had to change the number, but
yeah,
it's kind of a good time to check up on that stuff.
Okay,
anyway.
so go ahead.
No, you first.
No,
you first.
Who's on first?
He's on third base.
So Chrome 71 will block any and all ads on sites with abusive experiences. So they will even block the entire site.
Like, what define abusive experience? Like
that's a very good question.
Like, is it pop-up ads?
That is a very good question.
Is it these ads that hijack the web page? Is it autoplay videos? Is it just what they say on there, like, we don't like you, Bruce? Well, that's abusive. That's abusive to Bruce.
Well, Guru, I would help you on there. I would love to read the article, but you know what?
I just pulled it up.
The link's nowhere to be found on our show notes.
I will put it on there shortly.
Internal notes.
No, this was one I had read earlier today, and I was like, oh, I don't have this queued up. I need to go get it. But there was another one. They have another story that they're going to block the entire site. And speculation was like, well, who gets to choose whether it's abusive or not?
When you say abusive, define abusive.
Exactly. So whatever Google defines as abusive. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
I'd be
execution is going to be key.
So is yours The Verge, BGR, or ZDNet?
Probably.
No, what I was going to say.
Oh, ours. I did forget about that one.
Give people like settings or ways to.
Oh, I'm sure you can
personalize it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
And there may be a default set of behavior, but hopefully you'd have a way to. I don't consider it abusive, type thing. It maybe get better over time. I don't know, but that's pipe dream. I think Google's going to do what they want.
Yeah, Chrome 71 will continue crackdown on sites with abusive ads. So I know we'll see. Yeah. I think it's all going to be on execution. So far, they've already started it a little bit, and you've not heard a lot of kickback. Sorry.
Oh.
The coffee was burping.
Yes.
Coffee wanted to finish the sentence. So, you haven't heard any. So far, their execution has been, I'm not going to say flawless, but good. I get what they're trying to do, and they're trying to do something that's very difficult. But they're doing it because they feel like nobody else is going to do it, and they're in the right position to do what needs to be done or what they feel needs to be done. And in a way, I'm fine with it.
And you don't have to use Chrome if you don't want to.
That's true. You don't have to use Chrome.
There's other browsers out there. I don't know why you wouldn't use Chrome, but you don't have to use
Firefox.
Well, you can. And I use all kinds.
Brave. You can use Internet Explorer.
Opera.
You could use Internet Explorer.
If
you could use Opera if you wanted to.
You could use Edge if you want to be really daring.
Yeah. Daring's a word.
Now. I use Edge for some things. Yeah. I use Edge for OWA.
I had a better opinion of you before you made that statement. Well, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, that's fine.
There is only a few instances that I absolutely have to use IE in the corporate
setting. Well, sure.
Well, same with me at my
Active
job.
And that is the only time. Well, you can do a lot of that through the IE tab on Chrome, but sometimes it just doesn't work right.
Yeah.
But that is the only. I never. You know what you can tell? I'll tell you the last time I opened it at home. That's when I re-imaged my computer and I downloaded Chrome. Used it to say download Chrome.
Okay, so here's I was listening to you
would.
guys, but I also wanted. I finally got the article up, the one you were referring to. If you said it, I don't remember. It tries to block pop-ups. Very good.
Yeah,
I like that. It limits autoplay of videos.
I like that.
Excellent. Oh man. That one right there is one of my biggest pet peeves. I cannot,
especially with the way data is treated.
Yeah, that's true. But I cannot stand. I mean, I'll
like have 30 tabs open.
Yeah, I like to read my news.
Yeah, dude.
Not that I don't like to watch an occasional video.
Sure.
Maybe help me understand a little bit better what there might be.
There's so many now that they don't write a thing. All you get
is a video,
a headline,
and a video. That is right.
And I'm like,
if I want to do that, I'd watch TV.
Exactly. Well,
I mean, or something like that.
Yeah, I would go look for it.
Correct. Right.
But no, I want content.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
I don't know.
Well,
I don't like stories.
Well, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah,
I'm sure that they'll have to do some tweaking.
Oh yeah.
But now, this.
Well, people are going to scrutinize every little thing they do.
But I will say this: part of this is kind of surprising in one way because they make their money on ads.
They do, but they think ads should.
Oh yeah, work within a framework.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I wish they would do something to fix all the spam calls.
Oh well,
especially around this time of year.
Man,
you should go vote tomorrow.
That's correct. Go vote tomorrow.
I got my typical spam calls today, and it wasn't about going and voting. It was
about
know credit services and
do you guys know that
insurance? We need to talk about your health insurance,
your car warranty.
There has been several attempts by different states to stop robocalls.
Yeah.
But one of the problems
is
that spoofing is not totally a illegal action.
I don't think.
Meaning there are some reasons why you would need to legally spoof a number.
Yes.
Lots of them. And I didn't realize that. I really didn't know about it. And I went and I've had the articles, but I think I've lost them now. And but
so give me a for instance when it would be legit to spoof a number.
One example was a doctor who was calling about a patient who their number is basically spoofed through a calling agency.
Yep.
And that
because
way
they're calling from
their personal cell. That was one example. Or a police department that they're calling through a personal number or what have you.
Yeah.
That's rerouted through a dispatch. There was a lot of actual good reasons why. The problem has become
anonymous calling.
Yeah, correct. That is one issue. That's a huge issue
because you can't go to a payphone anymore.
And the concern is that the companies that deal with this, the concern of some of the legislation is that it's just going to outlaw all of it.
Yeah,
you basically break the whole system.
Yep.
To stop this big problem. And they do admit it is a big problem. And like I said, there's several states, and in some of these states, the courts have ruled against them a couple of times already. But I think South Carolina is one of the latest ones that's trying to write certain legislation to get it stopped.
Well, I think if somebody is, because an unwanted call, if you receive an unwanted call and you're able to trace it back to its origin, you should be able to do the same thing to them. I should be able to call you and tie up your phone lines. Fight back, baby.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think that I didn't realize it was more of a complicated issue than I thought. That's what it is.
I got one today. Was it on this phone?
I thought, but here again, it has gotten out of hand. Everybody.
Yeah,
I got one today.
I got one from Experian today.
My wife got one.
I did not get one from
that it was my wife. Oh yeah, it was. They said they were calling from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Which they're probably not calling from Jamaica.
Yeah, they say you won something.
No, I don't think so.
Won a trip?
I don't remember what it was. It wasn't anything like that. But I'm sure we didn't win.
Yeah.
Speaking of that type thing, I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was on Twitter, and I won't give the whole 9 yards. It had to do about cutting cable and all kind. I was irritated because you can't watch the NASCAR race on regular affiliates. They put it on NBC sports network. Well, I don't get that. We had to downsize, and it just really irritates me because I think it's just a, it ought to be on. I know that they have contracts. I get all of it.
Yeah.
It's just a disservice to the people who the NASCAR fans who want to watch the race, and the affiliates who probably could use the revenue from having that to be able to sell those local ads.
I will say this,
but let me finish. You hold your thought. So, along with my tweet, and actually, I had several people tweet back a lot of different things, and they were all told, "Oh, you could cut the cord, you could do this." I said, "Yeah, I know you can do all that." One of them was a dish @dish_answers.
Oh.
Now listen to this.
Okay.
I want you to listen to this.
I'm sure it was marketing mumbo jumbo.
I'm wondering. I know what it's like to miss a race because NASCAR won't show it on the local stations. Michael, if you would like, we can take a look at your account together to see if we can lower your bill, which I've already done that, by the way.
Yeah.
As low as it goes.
This is the reason why we're
right. That's correct. And still,
I can cut your bill in half.
And still receive the programming you love at your leisure. Now, I click on the shortened Google thing, and it takes me to this. It's dish.response.anotherwebsite.com. Hold on now, I'm not finished. Now I want you to listen to this.
Okay.
This is what it says. At your leisure, please send us a direct message with the account, phone number, 4-digit PIN.
I know.
Oh no!
And we can review your account together. We
also need your last 4 your social and your birthday.
Are you kidding me? I was like,
that's pretty. But think how many people would actually do that. This is a look. Can I see it? I mean, it sounds like it was pretty well written.
And you know what? Could it be legit? It might be, but it just doesn't look legit. And I just don't give that information out. I mean, it's one thing to call them on the phone, and I think that's pretty legit because you've called the company. You're calling a number, and you're actually calling the actual company you want to talk to. But over the internet, it's iffy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a chat, but it just looks iffy. I just don't know who that is.
Let me see.
Yeah,
I would say it's very well written.
It is very well written.
But for them to say the 4-digit PIN thing, I mean, I can see how they need that.
No, they need it because that's the only way to discuss anything with you. For the most part, because I've had to do that before, but I'm not doing that. I certainly wouldn't put it in a message and give it to. I just
dish_answers.
Yeah, usually it could be legit, but
usually these like Twitter has a way to like.
Yeah, I know, but I know
dish.com.
Yeah, I know, and it might be legit. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it just.
Oh no! Yeah, I can see like
that just seems.
Let
sketchy.
me call.
Let me call you. I'll call you and talk to somebody.
What you do is you go to the actual Dish Network site, and then they should have that publicized there if that's the way you can reach out to them.
Yeah, I know, but my problem is this.
Okay,
it doesn't end in dishnetwork.com, and that bothers me. I mean, I'm sorry. I know you might use a third provider to do some of this chatting. It just bothers me. I don't think we can. If we're going to tell people that they need to watch out the dot whatever that they go to, it already sets off flags for me. I
agree.
What was it now?
Dish_answers.
Yeah, that's the Twitter account.
Well, if you go to dish.com, go to the bottom, they have a Twitter icon. So you click it, takes you to twitter.com/dish. Okay?
Yeah, I know, but
hang on.
Okay.
And in the description of this Twitter account, it says official Dish Twitter feed providing our customers with program info and news. For customer service questions, tweet dish_answers.
Yeah, okay. That's probably legit. But the problem is
they said for you to.
I don't know who lithium.com is. It must be another provider that they use to do this type of things, which is fine. All I'm saying is
some software they're using.
It could be. All I'm saying is it just feels
Lithium helps brands.
Well, if you're not comfortable, then
you don't do it. I
reach out to them directly by phone.
Yeah, but I'm not going to because I've already done that. We're as low as it goes. I mean, we're as low as
at
it
your leisure.
How low can you go?
They may be able to make it better. Exactly how you want. They may do a la carte packaging.
Yeah. Well, see, no, that's just it. I'm glad. I know we brought this up on the show, and I hate to rerun through things, but we get new listeners every now and then. I like to think so anyway. That's the other thing. I figured in my head today when I was walking, thinking about this during the day, because I got this message and I'd ignored it last night. And I just noticed it today. So I said, I think I watch 20 channels, maybe. And that's generous. And listen to me.
Because you're probably done like
Hold
5.
on, listen to me. That is full on college football season. What I'm talking about full on sports season, 20 channels.
Yeah.
Maybe max.
Okay.
There was
I'll watch a tenth of those.
We had hundreds. It was like 100, and it was like it was pushing $200 at one point or close to it. And to watch 20 channels, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I understand the a la carte thing, but I just don't think that companies like Dish are going. I looked into that, and it's not less money. It really isn't. Because if you want to watch sports, that's where they get you, and I totally understand.
Well, those sports channels are not cheap.
I know that, and I understand it. This is not my ignorance of it. I think
you're going to see that start changing because sports aren't going to be making as much money.
Well, I know that's true. I know that's true.
In 5 years' time.
But they've got to figure out how they can compete with the cord cutting movement.
Now,
it's a movement.
And others people say, "Oh, you can get Hulu, you can get this." I said, "Yeah, but that still doesn't necessarily get me on." And you can get another one is YouTube TV. That is one in our area that you can get.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that really.
I've heard that, and I'd heard another one that now that we're talking about this, something else I'd heard that actually PlayStation was looking at turning off the View TV subscription, PlayStation View.
Oh, really?
That was a possibility.
I just, I think competition's great, but I think now there's just too many options. I don't even know if it's competition.
Yeah,
it's just too many.
Yeah,
options.
I see what you're saying.
It's really they're participating. They're being anti-competitive almost.
That's a possibility. Yeah,
well, everybody's trying to get into this
Yeah, but the
market.
Here's the problem: you want something that's good. You want something that is in your budget, obviously, but you also want something that's dependable. And to me, those three things, if they don't meet that, I'm just not going to deal with it. I mean, and it is what it is. We might be back. I mean, I've always liked Dish and still do. It's not their fault. We just had to cut back. And you know what? It's been a good thing because I've realized how little of the channels I watched, but I've realized the ones that I really enjoyed. And it was not that many, and I knew that already.
It'd be nice if you could pay like so much a month and you pick 20 channels.
Well, they have that, but the problem is it's by packages again, like the sport, which is it just that's just the way they do it. I mean, they have to. Well, I don't know if they have to, but I'm sure it works out best for them. But the sports packages and those type things, that's going to be the cost, but it always has been. Well, hey, we've running long in this break, so the next segment may be a little short. Hey, Techie Show, be right back.
Don't go anywhere. There's more in the queue lined up just for you.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Cheaha Mountain, often called Mount Cheaha, is the highest natural point in Alabama at 2,407 feet above sea level. It is located in north central Alabama in Cheaha State Park, surrounded by the Talladega National Forest in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. This dramatic landscape gets its name from the Creek Indian name for the mountain, Chaha, meaning high place.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this
When a
station.
child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. When a child expresses himself with colors, paint, and clay, The skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. A child on the playground is developing the skills of a future athlete. When a child is involved in dramatic play, she's learning the skills of a future doctor, nurse, and veterinarian. In Science Center investigations, a young child practices the skills of a future horticulturist, inventor, and archaeologist. During circle time sharing, the skills of a future teacher, lawyer, and journalist are being explored. A child reading a story in the library is honing the skills of a future librarian, teacher, researcher, and writer. Future stars are born in the classroom's music center. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things, and in the meantime, they discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information, go to children.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education.
I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me?
Welcome
back, baby.
In to
the Hey Techie Show.
And for those listening on YouTube, they have no idea what that bumper was. Sorry.
Loser.
You have to listen on WLJS.
Loser.
Yeah, okay.
That's a great song, man.
I'm glad you agree.
I like that song.
Some mix up every once in a while.
Yeah. You should with two turntables and a microphone.
No, I don't have all
I think that was on the same album. I don't know.
Who was that? P. Diddy?
Beck.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. You know me.
Michael's over there like, what is this song?
No, I mean, it sounded familiar, but I don't know.
So,
yeah.
Something that was rather surprising that I read today about Apple's new MacBook. Apparently, it physically disconnects the microphone when the lid is closed.
Cool.
I think that's pretty cool too. There's some other news about some stuff that they're doing with Safari.
Now, is that the new MacBook Air or
it says MacBook?
Oh, it says MacBook.
Well, the new MacBook.
It says MacBooks. It says MacBooks.
MacBooks.
Yeah. So it's apparently part of the custom T2 security chip in the MacBooks.
So that'd be the new MacBook Pros and the MacBook Air that was announced this week, which we're going to go into detail about those.
Yeah,
devices.
I would like to, because I think I'm going to get a lot of questions about those. I'm like, oh, what should I buy, this or that? And
yeah,
I actually already did. Somebody was asking about the Microsoft Surface Pro, maybe
Surface Go.
Surface Go.
No, it was
the Surface Pro 6.
Surface Pro 6 versus the MacBook Air. Which one should they get? Because they're around the same price, I think. Somewhere they were looking at.
What are they going to do?
That's
the
what I asked.
The MacBook Air starts at $11.99. The new one.
How much is the?
I don't know how much the Surface? It's
Pro
probably more.
6.
Let's see.
Well, whatever. They had them kind of, spec'd out the same.
Well, we'll get to that one. We'll get to that.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll get to the Mac stuff, but because I did have I went out and looked at the max of the new ones. Like you max out how much you can max one out.
Yeah.
The MacBook Air you can max out to $2,600.
Oh, that's not bad.
Golly. Yeah.
So what does that entail?
1.5 terabyte drive.
Solid state?
Yeah.
Okay. What
1.5 terabyte.
Okay.
So and I think it's like 32 gigs of RAM or something. I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay. And whatever I guess it was an i7 or i9. I don't remember which one. One of them will do. I thought one of these that they're putting out now is doing i9.
I'm sure the MacBook Pro will.
No, I'm thinking, well, that could be true, but I thought I saw where the Mac Mini would do an i9. I thought I'll have to look that up again, but
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Of course, the newer Intel processors, they're starting to get a little power hungry again.
Yes.
Not starting. I mean, they're getting power hungry.
I don't see this article. I know you said I tried to search it myself.
Which one?
So the one that connects audio.
Yeah. I'll put it on the show notes.
Oh yeah.
My bad. You mean disconnects the microphone.
Microphone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why I'm not getting the search correctly.
So I just think it's interesting that that's a security feature that
absolutely
Apple,
it is.
like, it's kind of refreshing to see somebody think about that.
Yeah.
So that's my that's a thumbs up.
Yeah, let me ask you a question.
The Surface Pro 6 is less expensive, but you have to buy the keyboard separately.
Let me ask you a question, Bruce. Let me ask you a question. If you close the lid, will it put a sticky note over the camera? I mean, I guess
sort of
just kind of slide it over,
covered up.
That's what I'm wondering. Why wouldn't they build in a slider on that? If they were, I guess because they think somebody can if they want that, they can put it. They probably wouldn't look as sleek as they wanted if they put that.
I actually think it won't look as good without a sticky note over it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's
a piece of tape.
That's a whole part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
you're within.
How about a sock? How about a sock over the microphone?
Yeah,
would that work?
It's like 1,020, 1,030 once you add the top cover to a Surface Pro 6, and the MacBook Air starts at $11.99.
But how's the specs differ starting off?
Oh, I don't know about that. They're both Core i5. Let me look. Let's see.
Well, I told him if I was him, I'd get the MacBook Air. So I told him.
Well, it doesn't give you the full spec. It says Core i5. It doesn't give you like.
Yeah, what generation and
let me have to dig somewhere else for that.
I kind of asked him how he's going to use it, and based on what he said, that's part of the reason why I said, do you want to use it as a laptop?
Yeah.
I like literally on your lap, because I would not get the Surface Pro for that.
Right.
I don't care who you are, what you have to say, how big of a fanboy you are of Microsoft.
That is a disadvantage of the Surface Pro.
That thing
and the
is
Surface Go. Surface Go same way.
That is for
it's
tabletop.
It's not loud.
It is not a laptop at all.
Nah, some people disagree, but
it is not a laptop.
Oh, I agree with you. You and I agree.
Laptop.
Yeah.
By definition,
I have tried to use it that way, and
it's terrible.
They're both 8 Gen Core i5 starting.
Okay.
It doesn't give the clock speed.
Well, I'm sure they're probably the same.
Yeah, but they're 8th Gen i5, or you can get them an i7, which is the same with the. I think you can get the Air in an i7.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, I think you can too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And
I think a lot of things. And I think if I had to choose between those, I would probably.
But you can get the MacBook Air in colors. We're gonna talk about that too.
Oh, who cares?
That's what well, it's the same colors.
Well, no, they have 3 colors.
It's the same ones.
Well, still, though, you can only get the Mac.
Space gray, rose gold, and silver or whatever.
Yeah, but you can't get a Surface Book or Surface Pro in colors and top cover. You can get in colors.
Well, you're getting a Surface Pro. Why would you want to waste money on color?
Of course, you gotta.
Oh.
I guess I didn't realize that we were already up to
I guess you cannot custom. Oh, you can't customize the processor on the Air. It's all the same processor.
Oh, it's only Core i5.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They're both Core i5. It's all. It's just the only thing you can change is the storage or the RAM.
Yeah. Okay.
If I had to choose between 2 at this point,
you can. I was wrong. I misspoke. It was you can get up to 16 gigs and 1.5 terabyte storage.
Yeah,
and that gets you up to $2,600.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting though. Like the storage options, 256. It's the starting 512, which is double that. Then it jumps from 512 to 1.5. There's no 1 terabyte or even something between 512 and a terabyte.
That's $1,000.
I know.
For that,
the thing, but go from 256 to 512, it's at 200. That's reasonable, maybe. But to jump to
what?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but then to go from 256 to 1.5, no, it's at 1,000.
It's 1,000, yeah. So anyway,
and the RAM's like this $200 to go from 8 to 16, which I think that's reasonable. And the thing is with these Macs, and the same thing with the Surface Pro and Surface Book. I mean, you better decide what you want up front because there ain't no upgrade. Ain't no upgrade.
Not until you buy a new one.
That's right. You're going to upgrade the whole device.
Well, that's how it's all going. You're not going to upgrade a Surface Book.
No, that's what I said.
Well, I guess you could upgrade a Surface Book. Just change up.
Yeah, that's true. You could, but I'm sure that would cost you about as much as.
Oh, it's not cheap.
No,
I don't think they'd sell you just the.
Yeah, you can buy just, you can buy
just the bottom.
Yeah,
sure you can.
I guess you pop that off and
but you see what you would have is that extra video card.
The video card.
That's the video processor.
Yeah.
So anyway, well,
maybe they should move more to this, or put additional storage or an additional RAM. Whatever.
Guess what we got coming up?
Our dose.
Yeah, baby. I mean, it's almost here. Can't believe it, man. It's 8:00.
Yeah, it's flying by.
That's right.
And especially, it is 8:00, just in case you forgot to change your clocks.
That's right. If you forgot to change your clock, it's 9:00. Just
we'll be back with our dose.
Right. You're gonna have another hour. Our dose.
Stay with us.
Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
You've listened this long, so stick around for our dose.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. After a year and a half of campaigning, the candidates to be Georgia's next governor have been crisscrossing the state, trying to get people to the polls. From member station WABE in Atlanta, Emma Hurd has more.
Democrat Stacey Abrams has received national attention for her historic candidacy, which could make her the first Black female governor in the country. Her Republican opponent, Brian Kemp, received an early endorsement from President Donald Trump, who held a campaign rally for Kemp this weekend. Former President Barack Obama has also stumped for Abrams. The candidates have sparred over issues like healthcare and voting access. Kemp oversees Georgia's elections as Secretary of State, and Abrams has spent years working to register voters. Early voting turnout here has been high. Polls show the race as a toss-up, which in Georgia makes a runoff a serious possibility. For NPR News, I'm Emma Hurt in Atlanta.
Iran says it intends to take the necessary banking measures and other actions to continue trading with its partners. That's despite the move by the U.S. to reimpose sanctions on Tehran's energy and financial sectors. Iran's UN ambassador today accused the U.S. of brazenly and boldly violating a UN Security Council resolution that unanimously endorsed the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, which the U.S. has pulled out of. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani took an even tougher stance, comparing what his nation faces to a war situation. The sanctions go after companies doing business with Iran, freezing any assets they have in U.S. jurisdictions. Dozens of potential jurors are being questioned in a Brooklyn federal court about their ability to fairly judge a man accused of running one of the most notorious drug trafficking operations in the world. NPR's Carrie Kahn explains jury selection began in the trial of Joaquin Guzman, the Mexican drug lord facing multiple charges of drug trafficking, money laundering, and murder.
Guzman, now 61, watched the court proceedings with an interpreter at his side. Wearing a blue suit with an open collared shirt, the man, better known as El Chapo, has pleaded not guilty to dozens of charges, including smuggling tons of cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and marijuana into the U.S. over more than 3 decades. Jurors were asked about their knowledge of Guzman and their attitudes toward drugs, legalization of marijuana, and fluency in Spanish. Many said Guzman's name sounded familiar to them. Others said they had heard about his famous escapes from Mexican prisons, and some said they knew that actor Sean Penn had interviewed the notorious cartel leader while he was on the run. Carrie Kahn, NPR News.
With the U.S. economy still expanding strongly, look for the interest rate-setting Federal Reserve to weigh in with another rate hike before the year winds down, where it's also increasingly looking as though when the Fed policymakers wrap up their 2-day meeting in Washington this week, the central bank will hold off on raising rates for now. Most analysts are forecasting one more interest rate hike before this year comes to a close. They expect that to happen at the Fed's December meeting. On Wall Street today, the Dow was up 190 points. The Nasdaq closed down 28 points. You're listening to NPR.
Technologic.
Use it, break it, fix it, crash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip and zip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jump and lock it, surf it, scroll it, pose it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it.
Oh, dad jokes. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, it really was. It was a pretty good joke.
Welcome back to Our Dose of the Hey Techies Show. And if you want to be on the program in Our Dose, 256-782-5600. And we'll be glad to put you on the air. And you can be part of the program. Well, we did mention earlier that last week there was an Apple event. We sort of loosely talked about the products here and there. But this is sort of...
I did not realize we had not talked about that.
Well, we haven't. And Guru always does.
Our shows are on Monday.
He's going to wet his whistle. He always does a fabulous job of giving us an update. And there was 3 main products.
I didn't get a chance to watch the event live or recorded, but Mac Rumors does a great job putting together a kind of a summary video. And they sometimes have shortened what was said and like really quick, but they actually made like a summary video, and they kind of narrated themselves, and it's basically the whole event in 6 minutes, and they kind of cut to the chase.
Sure,
which I like because my time is very precious. So we'll put a link to that video in the show notes. It's on YouTube, but we'll link to it. But here's kind of a rundown. There's 3 major products that they announced. First one they talked about was a MacBook Air. And again, all the rumors were true. I think, we'll get to in the rumor segment some more like what they didn't announce. But anyway, the 3 things they announced. First thing, MacBook Air is redesigned, has a liquid retina display, which is the same. It's basically the same display. I think. No, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. But a liquid retina display, 13.3 inches. So the previous Airs had like a 10-inch and a 13-inch design. But the way it is, it's got a thinner bezel than the previous MacBook Airs, so the overall footprint is smaller.
Right.
With still the same size screen. They come in Core i5, 1.6 gigahertz with a turbo boost to 3.6 gigahertz. That's the only processor option you have. We talked about that in the last hour. 8 gigs of RAM, which can be upgraded to 16. 128 gig solid state drive, which can be upgraded to either 512 or 1.5 terabytes.
For $1,000.
Yeah, don't rub that in. 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports, a standard 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I said this earlier, but the bezel's 50% thinner, slimmer, which makes for a smaller footprint, keeping the same display. They added Touch ID.
Yeah.
Has the Touch ID fingerprint
I'm not surprised about
it doesn't
that.
have the whole like touch
Correct.
bar.
It doesn't have the touch bar.
But the upper right of the keyboard, there's a touch ID sensor.
Now, does that have the power button too? Did you notice if that
I
was
don't
included?
know.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Uh-huh.
But it has a 3rd gen keyboard, so it's the same awful keyboard on the MacBook Pro. You know I was going to say that.
Yes, I did.
Force touch trackpad. The speakers, they say, are louder than the previous iteration.
Well, of course. It's so much better.
And this one comes in 3 colors.
Yeah.
Gold, silver, and space gray.
Shocking.
And it starts at $11.99. Would be the i5 with 8 gigs and 128 solid state.
The older model is $200 less.
Yeah, the previous 13-inch you can still get it for $9.99. And pre-orders started on the day of the event. They will ship starting the 7th, which is this Friday.
Yep.
So that was the first product announcement. Second one they talked about was the one I'm excited about, the Mac Mini.
The Mac Mini.
People just like, Guru, why are you so excited about it? Like I've got.
He was almost ordering one the day they came out. Well, he was looking. He was definitely looking at it.
I configured one just to see what the price was.
Sure.
But I've got a MacBook Air at home attached to a large monitor. So, and there's times where I tax that processor. It's an older MacBook Air. MacBook Air. Excuse me. So, I don't really need another laptop because I don't use the screen on that Air. I just plug up to the monitor. So this is perfect for me. This, as we said before, this is the first major update since 2014. It's in a space gray enclosure. It's kind of the same footprint as the previous Air. It may be the thickness may be different, but it's that same kind of square shape. You have 3 processor options. You can get a quad core. These are all 8th gen Intel chips. But the first option, the base option, quad core i3 at 3.6 gigahertz. You can also upgrade to a 6-core i5 at 3.0 gigahertz with turbo boost to 4.1, or you can go all in, which is what I would like to do, a 6-core 8 gen i7 at 3.2 gigahertz with turbo boost to 4.6. And they touted these processors are 5 times faster than the previous model. I'm not sure which one's to which, but which thing about it, that MacBook Air has been around since 4 years old. I mean, you expect some improved performance of that level.
Exactly right.
The RAM starts at 8 gigs, configurable up to 64 gigs. So it's like 8, 16, 32, 64. I think 32 is going to be a sweet spot for me. I mean, 16 I think would be sufficient, but like the thing is with these devices, you have to get what you want up front to kind of get yourself future-proofed. And I think I would go ahead and do 32. Anyway.
64, man. $1,400.
Yeah,
get 64.
For the storage starts at 128 gig solid state.
2 terabyte.
You can configure up to 2 terabyte. I think it's 128, 256, maybe 512. But it goes 1 terabyte and 2
terabytes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thought you go larger than 2. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, not according to this.
Okay.
And you can get 10-bit Ethernet.
It comes with gigabit Ethernet,
right?
And they never mentioned Wi-Fi. So I bet you Wi-Fi is not in this one.
Yeah,
they never mentioned it.
I'm sure,
but if
it's within the old one.
Yeah, I know that, but they never mention it. And even if you look at the tech specs, I don't think it's out there. I'll dig in a minute.
I think you're right. I think you was right.
I need to look at that.
So
I'm trying to multitask here, but anyway, it has Ethernet base option terabyte, gigabit, or you can upgrade for $100 more and get 10 gigabit.
If you max one out, $4,200.
Well, hang on, I'm sorry. Specs. It has USB-C, 4 USB-C Thunderbolt 3 ports, which can support anything, devices or displays. So I was looking at the display options, and like you can do, I think 3 display. I forget 3 4K displays, maybe. It also has HDMI out too, so you could also just use HDMI as your output source, and it'll support up to 4K as well. It has 2 USB-A for legacy devices. A headphone jack starts at $799, and like you said, if you max out every spec, you max out every piece of it, you're up at $4,000. But this is for a professional user, somebody that needs some power but doesn't want to step into the trash can world.
Does have Wi-Fi.
It does have
802.11ac.
Okay. They never really mentioned that. So, okay. Thanks for checking.
Yep. Bluetooth 5.0.
Okay. That makes sense. 'Cause I was like, I mean, they could take it out because it's a desktop computer.
Yeah, but I just can't see why they would.
Anyway, but start $799. The previous previous Mac Mini started like $599. So it's a little bit of a, but you think about it, you get for a quad core i3 with 8 gigs and a 128 solid state drive with Thunderbolt 3, HDMI, out. Has Intel graphics, by the way. I mean, for $799, that's a pretty decent computer,
right?
There's nothing wrong with an i3 for the average person, but sometimes I need a little more power, so that's why I want to opt for like the i7.
Need more power.
Plus it's 6 cores. It's pretty nice. Anyway, so that was the second thing they discussed. The last announcement was the iPad Pro, and this is the LCD liquid retina display, which is the same display that they're using on the iPhone XR, but it's just, of course, a high resolution because it's a bigger, bigger size.
Right.
Has slimmer bezels compared to the previous iPad Pro. The rumors of the Touch ID going away and no home button, those were true. It has no home button. It's Face ID. It's basically the display goes all the way to the bezel, no notch,
right?
But it has all the Face ID sensors at the top, so that's how you authenticate with biometrics. It also supports there's a magnetic attachment for the Apple Pencil where you can attach it, obviously, but I think it actually charges the Apple Pencil, and it's a way you can pair it too.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of something different. I mean, and Bruce is shaking his head like he don't care. That's just kind of gimmicky in my opinion. But anyway, the 12.9 inch display, it's the footprint's smaller, but it's the same screen size because they've made that bezel thinner again. So that's been a common theme. They keep making stuff smaller, but you're not losing display. Of course, it says it's the best iPad display ever.
Sure, ever. Yeah.
It has the A12X Bionic chip, the fastest tablet chip ever.
That's right.
10-hour battery life. Here's the thing that we were talking about last week is the connector. But it is USB-C.
Wow.
Which is replacing the Lightning connector. And you can charge, you can transfer data between devices, and you can drive an external display up to 5K.
Yeah.
Using that USB-C.
You can put whatever's on your iPad on a 5K.
Yeah.
iPad Pro.
Yeah. So that did work out to be true, which we were kind of doubting ourselves, I think, last week in the rumor segment, were they really going to pull the trigger and do that? But I guess when you're sitting there like with this display thing, you're probably pushing the limits of the Lightning connector.
Yeah.
They did announce some new accessories. There's a new Apple Pencil, of course, that works with this iPad Pro for $129.
That's right.
That has magnetic connection and wireless charging. They also showed out the whole thing, but they showed off a smart keyboard folio, which basically it kind of wraps around the device, but you can kind of unfold it. It's got a keyboard.
Correct.
Starts at $179 and then $199 for the larger screen size, because there's two screen sizes, there's a 11-inch and 12.9, so up to $200 for that accessory. And the starting price starts for the 11-inch, $799 for Wi-Fi. And it's more if you get the
LTE,
the cellular data. The 12.9-inch is $999. So similar pricing that we saw last year with the iPad Pros. Their pre-orders now available again on November 7th. And that was the three things that they spent the whole event talking about.
And they also took a section of time to talk about how great their people were and their Genius Bar was. Not kidding.
Did they really?
Yes. Oh, yes. It was. I didn't watch the entire thing, but that's what it was about.
Well, I can show you plenty.
YouTube would beg to differ.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I shared with y'all some stuff I found this last week about, and that was not even knowing that was talked about.
Yeah, it was talked about. I mean, they made a point.
And I have firsthand experience with some botched, I'll call it botched visits to the Genius Bar, because they've messed up my devices before.
I mean, it was.
I can speak firsthand if you want me to.
It was syrupy.
It's pouring it on.
Yeah, you haven't seen syrup like this,
and nobody
since
got
Aunt
up
Jemima
and said anything, did they?
Was the syrup flowing like wine?
Oh, the cheers were crazy. I mean, nuts.
So
you're hitting it.
Yeah.
So they're like this, but like 10 times worse.
Oh yeah.
Because they're nuts.
Yeah, maybe so, but
they probably packed the room. Half of them are probably Apple employees.
well, yeah, of course. And two of the biggest, and by the way, I did watch some of it. Two of the biggest cheers were the fact that the new devices would be, I guess it was more the Mac. Well, all of them would be green approved. That's not the right word, but they would be all pretty much almost all recyclable. Even the shavings that were created the outside was recyclable.
Well, they've been pushing that for years, and more and more.
Right. And then the other one was what I was talking about. Oh, no. The other one was that Tim came out there, and after all the cheering and all that stuff, he said,
I watch Hey Techies every week.
No, he did not say that. Yeah, right.
Went, yeah.
He said, I'm thinking of maybe moving here to New York. That's yeah, right. New York City. You moved to New York City. Sure. The tax structure alone would kill him.
Well, he's probably already got a property there, some sort of house, but he don't claim residency.
Well, but it doesn't matter. They'll get you. I mean, they got him for being there. I guarantee you they got him for working in New York City. That he had to pay taxes for however long he was there.
That's an expensive place to live.
But yeah, seriously though, that was the
visit.
That was the cheers.
Yeah,
and others too. I mean, they cheered everybody. You know, a fly could fly out on the stage and they would be cheering. Yeah, it would go crazy. You know, I mean, that's how it is.
You could stumble across the stage accidentally, like I lost my way, and everybody start cheering for you.
Yeah. Well, they might laugh too, but
well, I'm saying you didn't fall. You just kind of walked up there like you don't know where you're going. And they were like, yeah, yeah,
and we got to go to break. When the Hey Techie Show comes back, I'll tell you my and we'll have rumors coming up.
And one more thing.
Hey
Stay with us.
Be right back.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The Little River Canyon National Preserve, located in Cherokee County, was created in 1992 by an act of the U.S. Congress and was dedicated as a unit of the National Park Service. The area's focal point is the Little River, which flows along Lookout Mountain and is an outdoor recreation destination. Small waterfalls, sandstone bluffs, trails, creeks, and streams draw visitors to the area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Alabama legacy moment.
Birmingham native Erskine Hawkins was a prominent African-American trumpeter, bandleader, and composer during the big band era of the 1930s and 40s. His Erskine Hawkins Orchestra was a popular dance band in New York City, and with it he recorded the hit Tuxedo Junction, about a streetcar intersection on the Ensley-Fairfield line that was a center of nightlife for African Americans. Hawkins is a member of the Alabama Music and the Alabama Jazz Halls of Fame.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies program show. So glad to have you here. And what I was referring to is I texted the guys during the show at the end of the Apple event, and they probably forgotten by now because Guru was love eyes over the new Mac Mini, and he was ready to go out buy one. Bruce did not care a whit.
I said, what event?
Yeah, what event?
What are you talking about?
I sent them. Do you guys remember a week or so ago, I was talking about the fact of how much explicit albums were on iTunes.
I do remember this now.
Okay. So Tim Cook glowingly now announced the artist that was coming out and how they had been with this artist all from the beginning, from the beginning to the end. I mean, and that's not ended, but from now, you know, she's been on Apple Music. She's a shining star, and I'm not saying she's not. I mean, if you're into pop culture, which is fun, but it was Lana Del Rey. Now I've heard her name. I had heard her name. I don't really know much about this thing, but here's what happened. So the Cheers, she came out. She had a pianist there. It was just going to be her and a piano. She said, "Well, I have been told I cannot cuss." So she said this: "We're going to play a selection from my latest album, but I can't tell you the name of it. Not the name of the song. She can't tell you the name of the album because it has the F word in the name of the album."
Really?
Yeah.
You have to put that in as the title of the album.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech.
Well, I
fully defend her. And I mean, it's fine that Apple says we don't want this at our venue because of the crowd that may be there, sure. But it is absolutely her right to Playboy.
It is her right.
But it's a double standard on them because at one side they're saying they don't want
but
to
they help
stream
produce
that
it, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. I'm just saying that I find it fascinating to me. They want to live in both sides of the bar, on the good side of the bar and on the bad side of the bar, and they don't want to get their hands dirty in the making of the drinks. Is all I'm saying, and it's just fascinating to me. It's like they live in some other alternate reality. You can't offer up the thing that.
I don't know why they're doing it. I'm not expecting them to do that. I'm expecting them to offer choice, and I can choose.
No.
Right?
Anyway, it's just my opinion.
To me, they're offering an illusion.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, I can see that too, but I don't know. I don't care as far as what they do. They do whatever they want to. I don't have to participate. But I just find it fascinating that they almost have these surgical gloves on when they're talking about it. I mean, it's like
either that or they're kind of bipolar about it.
Yeah, we're taking these off because we got dirty, but now you see our hands and they're crystal clean. I don't know. Yeah. All right, Guru, you were going to.
I want to circle back to the Apple event real quick.
Okay.
One thing they increased the price of Apple Care Plus for the iPad Pros. It went from $99 to $129, and the Apple Care Plus gives you an extended warranty, plus it covers accidental damage. And part of that too that went up was let's see, what was that last piece? And they talked about the out of warranty repair fees. So if you were not under any kind of warranty, the repair cost could be up to $649 for the iPad Pro if it was out of warranty. Just there's a link to this article we'll put in the show notes from Mac Rumors. Kind of talks about that. If that stuff entertains you, I don't know why I was going to say that. If you want to be enlightened, I don't know. I can't. I'm just stumbling over my words tonight.
Are you good?
So tomorrow's election day.
Correct.
Here, if you're listening to this live, if you're not listening to it live, well, election day occurred on November the 6th.
Correct.
First Tuesday every 2 years. So this is what they call the midterm election because you're not voting for president of the United States, but it's, every
middle of his term.
the middle of the president's term, but 1/3 of the Senate's up for election, and the whole House of Representatives, plus at least in this year, the governor of Alabama, is being elected. But anyway, you've probably heard these national news networks doing exit polling, right, Michael?
Sure. I know they do it every year.
They take these exit polls and talk to folks after they vote at the polls, and they compile this data, and then they use that along with what's coming in for returns to try to predict and make a call for a particular, election. Like, we're going to call the state of Alabama for this person for sure. Whatever. Right. If you've watched any kind of election coverage over the last 10 years, I mean, they've been doing this. Well, I've learned this last night. I was watching a program on Fox News, and they had like this person. He's their director of this Fox News' decision team director, Armin Mishkin.
Armin Hammer?
No.
Oh.
Anyway, but this year Fox News is not going to do exit polling.
Yeah.
They've switched to a different model to try to help them get an idea of what's going on in people's thoughts, to help predict and make these calls for these races before all the votes are in. So this is an article we'll put in there, but they're launching a new methodology.
And who is this?
This is Fox News.
Okay, so they're the new first to get it wrong.
Well, they've got a new methodology, that they're working on this year.
I don't understand. Can we not just wait and say we announce the winner?
Well, but they're calling it Fox News Voter Analysis, and it's conducted in partnership with the Associated Press, and it will provide a comprehensive look at voting behavior, options, and preferences as America votes. The FNVA, as it's abbreviated, is based on surveys conducted in all 50 states by NORC at the University of Chicago, as well as actual voting results by county as collected by the AP. The new system follows a decision by Fox News after the 2016 election to move beyond exit polls, which have been conducted, like I said, a lot of news organizations have done this since the 60s, apparently. I didn't know it went that far back.
Oh, yeah.
While exit polls historically provide useful information, it has become clear in recent elections that voting patterns in the United States are changing in ways that make traditional exit polling problematic for news coverage. That's one thing they talked about on that program last night, where they were interviewing this guy that's over their decision team, is a lot of people are voting early. A lot of states have early voting, so you're not getting a true sense of the public by polling folks as they leave a polling place on election day. I mean, they've said this year, like, apparently the states that have early voting, the amount of people voting early has like doubled compared to the last midterm election we had, which I think early voting is becoming more popular. Plus, there's a lot of emphasis on this election, in the media. So I think that's garnered a lot more interest. I think this is very fascinating. I'd be curious to see if they come back later and kind of do a post-mortem and see how well they think they do compared to how they've done it in the past. I mean, this article goes on to talk. There's a lot of quotes in here and more stuff, but I mean, basically, the key is, before they were doing exit polls on 25,000 Americans as they exited the polls. This poll that they're doing started on Saturday, and it goes through tomorrow through Election Day. It covers 125,000 people in their nationwide samples. So, I mean, it's going to touch a lot more folks. I mean, but there's rules to statistical random samples and all that stuff, but they're in all that. But interesting.
Okay.
So they're not going to do exit polls this year. They're just polling people a different way to kind of get how they feel.
Okay.
So that was that. You can read into that more if that interests you. But I just thought that was fascinating that they've kind of said we're changing methodology for this time.
So what do we got in rumors?
Oh, yeah, hang on here. We gotta see, where's that at?
Cue that music up.
Yeah.
Before you get too deep in them,
okay,
may I just say that a rumor that I made up.
Well, go ahead. We make them up on this segment.
Might possibly be happening. It was kind of the rumor was that I said Apple's going to get back into the monitor screen making business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and there has been speculation since. It was the Mac Mini, right?
Yes,
and in its manual,
yes,
had a picture
of a display
which
looks similar to something they've already had.
Yeah, it looks like the older displays, I would say, that they used to make.
So I may have one laying around.
Yeah, saying.
I think those were DVI though. Those old displays they sold. Were they HDMI?
They had it.
They had Thunder. They were probably Thunderbolt.
Yeah, I was saying. I think they were Thunderbolt.
Okay,
displays because they were $1,000 a piece.
Yeah, because
for like a 27-inch,
you could plug in at one Thunderbolt, and you had a bunch of ports on the back of the monitor.
Yeah,
so it was one cord plus the power.
Yeah,
obviously.
I think that was the last one that they came out with. So I could see them. Could see them coming out.
I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I liked them. I thought they were very pretty. I just
very
think they wanted way too.
So in this article from 9 to 5 Mac, they ask, should Apple make this modern display seen with the new Mac Mini? Well, 81% yes. 11% I prefer something ultra wide.
That is starting to become very popular.
5.45 said I'm not interested. And then there's
that reminded me,
not at Apple price, I wouldn't be interested.
Yeah, right.
Because
honestly, like Dell's new ultra wide, I don't know why anybody would buy that when they're basing it off the Samsung, which is like $800, $900 now, and the Dell one's like $1,200.
Well, let me tell you this. So, you mentioned that I was trying to look up the specs on the monitor I currently own, and I have a Monoprice 32-inch 4K.
Yes,
I was just getting some specs on like native resolution stuff because I was trying to compare it with the Mac Mini to make sure my Mac Mini would support that monitor.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm very pleased with that. And it's like $400 for a 32-inch.
Okay,
it's not a curve. It's just a 32-inch normal 4K. But I sold my 27-inch iMac, so I liked that size. So I didn't want to go down, so I went up. Of course, but they sell a Monoprice as a 35-inch. They call it a 0G curved FreeSync 100 megahertz 1440p monitor. It's $549. So that's what I was going to mention because that's a pretty good price considering it's a curved monitor and it's 35 inches, so it's right there with Samsung and with Dell.
Yeah.
It's
how big?
35 inches.
I was saying the Samsung one's like 43, isn't it?
No,
46, something like that.
Well, still, those few inches are not making a huge difference when you're talking something this size. But
you would be surprised. They're like ridiculously, like it spans the entire length of your desk. It's great.
It's got the VESA mount.
Yeah.
100 by 100.
I'm going to look that up and see what that Samsung Ultra Wide is.
I'm trying to find a native resolution on it, but I can't find it real quick. Yeah, 3440 by 1440.
Yeah, 49-inch is the Samsung one.
Okay, Guru. So
anyway, but my one rumor here to kind of steer us back on track. This was from 9 to 5 Mac as well. 5 things Apple didn't announce at its October special event. So it's kind of a continuation and sort of rumor speculation, but this is the 5 things they mentioned. Number 1,
they didn't mention.
Yeah, these are 5 items they didn't mention that have been kind of out there in the rumor mill. So we'll kind of kick these out here just for your thoughts and whatnot. First one they mentioned is iPad Mini 5. There's been some speculation about that. We really haven't heard a lot about that. Kind of the iPad Pro has been kind of still in the show there, but anyway, that wasn't announced.
Well, the iPad Air's been the same price for a while, so why would you not get the more screen space?
Unless you want a smaller footprint, smaller.
Yeah, it's not that. I've had both. I'd rather have the Air.
So the number 2, AirPower and wireless charging AirPods. They touted this little AirPower thing when they announced the iPhone 10 and 8 and 8 Plus over a year ago,
and
it still is not out. So it makes you wonder, are they having some problems with the technology? And what this thing is, it's going to be designed to where you can charge your iPhone, your Apple Watch, and these
just lay it down there.
And these special AirPod cases. You have your AirPods, your earbuds, and then you charge the case.
But this is not really new technology. I mean,
no, it's
phones have been doing this for a while.
Qi charging or Qi-ish.
Yeah.
But it's 3 devices. But then you can see on your iPhone display the charge level of all your things that are connected. It's just it's kind of that next iteration.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, they still haven't released that yet. Over a year now. No iMac updates were announced.
Nope.
And that was some speculation there. They didn't talk about the ECG app for the Apple Watch. That's still not available.
Probably not perfected.
Yeah, still not available. Which you'd have to have
probably calls 911 too many times.
Maybe. And the last thing they mentioned is the no updates to the 12-inch MacBook. And it makes me wonder if they're going to kind of do away with that since they've refreshed the MacBook Air.
12-inch mode. It's possible, yeah.
My prediction is that the MacBook will go away.
Yeah.
You'll have the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro.
Well, with the price point and the fact that you can get like a 1.5 terabyte drive in the MacBook Air now, why have the MacBook? But I don't know.
Yeah, I just think the MacBook, that product line's going away.
Probably. That's a possibility. Certainly.
Yeah,
certainly. I would say that would be the easiest of these to go away, of course.
And there's always that debate of good, better, best, having 3 things in a line, but Apple doesn't play by those rules.
No, I mean,
I think obviously they do because that's what they have.
But
they're brave, so they'll probably get rid of it.
Yeah, but
then they'll go back to it and say we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you never know.
But yeah, that's what I had for rumors. Quiet week. You want to start another one, Bruce?
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that they don't get rid of the MacBook.
Okay, we'll see who's right. Somebody will be right in this room.
That's true,
and it'll be me.
I don't know why I'm picking that.
I have to think about that. I don't think they'll get rid of it. I don't think they'll get rid of a plain MacBook. Some stuff may get the MacBook Air may become the MacBook.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Harper Lee is best known as the author of one of the most affecting and widely read books of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird. The native Alabamian drew deeply from her coming-of-age years in her small hometown of Monroeville. The film version of To Kill a Mockingbird underscores
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. It's a little Tom Petty. He's not going to back down.
He's not.
And neither will the Hey Techie Show about our opinions, by the way. We stick to them, unlike other places.
No waffling.
Even though no waffling here. So, Gary, you had a couple of...
I got two things here real quick.
Overclock stack here.
Yeah, that's sort of ready to go. So, Walmart and Microsoft are opening a joint engineering office in Austin.
Really?
As part of a cloud partnership. So this was actually announced today. Walmart and Microsoft announced today that they're opening a joint engineering office in Austin, Texas, as part of the recently announced 5-year strategic cloud partnership. The called 4.co project will involve engineers from both companies working side by side to develop new internal applications that will utilize Microsoft Azure, as well as migrating existing operations to the cloud. A quote here from Corey Sanders, any relation, Michael? Corporate Vice President for Microsoft Azure told VentureBeat, the exciting part of working with Walmart is sort of this massive breadth of experience and operational programs they have in front of them. The office is scheduled to open in early 2019 and expected to house a combined 30 engineers from Microsoft and Walmart.
Okay.
So I think that's really good. If it's done right, you could get a lot of innovation out of that.
Yeah, and Microsoft get a bunch of business in Azure.
Well, and I'm sure Microsoft gets cut of it. I mean, Walmart gets cut of it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they put up the money, so they'd have to.
The other thing I had real quick here, Elon Musk, he was recently had an interview with Recode and was asked about the Space Force. And headline, Elon Musk says he likes the idea of Trump's Space Force.
They should name it the Thunderbirds. I'm sorry.
Thunderbirds are go.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So anyway, quoting Musk in this interview with co-founder of Recode and technology journalist Kara Swisher, this is what Musk said. Well, this may be a little controversial, but I actually like the idea. I think it's cool. When the Air Force was formed, there was a lot of poo-pooing and said like, oh, how silly to have an Air Force, because the aircraft in World War II were managed by the Army. He continued to say, and so you had the Army and the Navy and the Coast Guard and the Marines, and then ... It became pretty obvious that you really need a specialized division to manage aircrafts, and the Air Force was created. And people today may not realize back then it was widely planned as a ridiculous thing to create the Air Force, but now everyone's like, obviously you should have an Air Force. And I think it's going to become obvious that we should have a Space Force too.
Space Force.
Managed by SpaceX, he hopes.
Yeah, there you go.
All supplied by...
Yeah, we supply the aircraft, the spacecraft, SpaceX. That was interesting because he likes the idea. He signed up for it. He's like, President Trump, I got you back on the Space Force.
Space Force.
Space Force.
Oh my!
What is that?
You've not seen that song?
Oh, real quick. I got one more thing real quick. This is real quick. Where'd it go?
Real quick.
Where'd it go?
Where'd
it go? I lost. Oh, here it is. We almost need to create a segment for this. We've covered this like 3 weeks in a row, but this is the emoji segment.
Oh my goodness. Here we go.
Headline: Airports ask Unicode to change plane landing emoji. The other one is a little too crashy. So a handful of airports across the country are pushing Unicode for a new plane landing emoji after claiming the current one appears too crashy.
Oh my goodness.
The social media team behind Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport took to Twitter on Tuesday to commend Unicode for its new emoji, but added one simple request. On behalf of #airport Twitter and pilots everywhere, we kindly request that a re-angling the airport posted alongside a photo of Unicode's current plane landing emoji, which shows the plane's nose pointing downward toward the runway. And the airport suggested replacement, which shows the plane's nose pointing more parallel to the ground.
Why don't they just put it like touching down?
In the flare, like the back wheels are on the ground.
Yeah, and maybe even the brakes up or something.
I mean, I can see this, but I still think it's
on the. But yeah, the Unicode standards, like that's not you would be you wouldn't be like at that angle when you get ready to land.
I still think they're taking this too serious.
Well,
it's an emoji.
I know that, but they're just like,
it's like I said before we got in the green room. I said, that's not the right, angle and all that. I said, but what would I know? I'm not a professional pilot.
Okay.
And what was your response?
It's an emoji. There's no professional. I mean, it's for fun. Look. Let's look at the picture here.
If somebody sent me the second one,
I would say,
don't hold it up to the camera.
I would say you're taking off. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't that the first thing possibly would come to your mind?
I would think
you're taking off.
You're on the plane.
You're on the plane. You're taking off.
Yeah.
You're not landing.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's an emoji.
Either that, or you just make that is taking off and that is landing.
I mean, yeah. I don't.
He's one emoji.
Yeah, one emoji.
We eliminated emoji
and use that Unicode for something else.
That's right.
Anyway,
I just thought I'd share. Last week we had the controversy over the bagel emoji without cream cheese.
Oh my goodness!
And this week we have the plane landing emoji is too crashy.
Yeah, what's going to be next week? We could do a whole segment of rumor or what the emoji upset would be next week.
Well, you add to the rumor segment. It's kind of a
what emoji upset would there be next week?
But coming from who it came from, the DFW, I can kind of understand where they're like, hey, can we talk about this? Like, we would like to have been consulted, and we could have pointed this out. I think that points out something that maybe they should, with some of these things, consult industry experts.
Well, sure.
To say, hey, how would you perceive this?
And I love that
that's what it is. It's all perception.
I
agree.
A
picture.
It's an emoji. Look, I go back to this again. That emoji gun cannot shoot you.
Yeah.
The emoji knife cannot cut you. The emoji bomb cannot go off.
It's true. And that emoji plane can't crash.
The emoji plane will never crash. I'm serious. An emoji head bleeding is not really bleeding. I'm not saying there is one, but I'm saying if there was one.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, the Memphis International Airport also said that it would look too crashy to them as well. They said, yes, thank you, DFW Airport. The other one is a little too crashy with a dash Y.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Space Force.
Yeah. What would their emoji look like? What would
their St. Louis Airport say? Thank goodness someone
probably
said
the guy in the Tesla.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Tesla is past Mars now?
No, I didn't.
Yes, that guy in that Tesla, the rocket
Starman,
whatever, is past Mars.
What if there's got to be a Starman tracker?
And it is an orbit. It's got an orbit that brings it back across our orbit eventually. Now, I don't know if we'll be I don't know if Earth will be.
Oh, yeah. No, I see it.
You see that?
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
So it's still out there. Which you know what this does now, Guru? Do you know what we've proven? We've finally proven to all those people. You don't need the wings on the X-Wing. It would still fly up there no matter what. It's not going to be any faster. I mean, Star Wars people are killing themselves right now. You mean it could look like that car and still be in space and fly? Yeah, absolutely. You might have a little problem landing the thing. I don't know, but it still will work.
I wonder when it's going to orbital period is about 557 days. Man, I would have never thought when they sent this thing out there that they would have said, hey, let's calculate it on this course to go. I thought, like, just send this thing out there. I thought that was kind of the point. They're like, just send it out. Just get it out there. I didn't think they'd be like,
no, they put it on a course.
God,
yeah, it's got an orbit.
Well, the current iteration of the plane landing emoji has existed as it is for 2014. It's been good for 4 years.
Hey, quick question.
Yes.
Is it making a left turn if it's in space?
I don't know. Does it make any turn if it's in space? I guess it does.
It's XYZ.
You know, it's always turning left from what I can tell. No, well, actually, it'd all be turning right. It's always be turning right.
You can watch the ultimate NASCAR.
You can. It's always turning right. Yeah, it's going to take decades. That is a good point. Why do I need to watch?
When you're like, I feel like watching a race. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's going around.
Where's the crash going to happen?
It's going around Saturn.
It's currently 132,833,881, 887,
from Earth,
893, 899.
But I want to know when the crash is going to happen. So you have the caution period.
Nah, that's a good question.
When's it going to take a pit stop?
That's right. You gotta go get some fuel, right? Fuel and four tires.
I think it's great. I'm just saying, if you are looking for someone to make a left turn on a Sunday afternoon and you can't watch it on TV, just open this up.
It's making a right-hand turn.
Where's no?
Yeah. Isn't it going this way?
It's a matter of perspective.
Yeah, it's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Look another way, it's left turn.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, we have had a fabulous 2 hours. And so glad to have everybody that was joining us. We appreciate our listeners every week, and we hope you've enjoyed once again another Hey Techies show. From all of us to all of you, have a great weekend.
Go fast, Ricky Bobby.
The Hey Techies show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of the Hey Techies show. It's going to be great, maybe.